DJ Wade-O, we are live at JahRock'n with the man himself, Chris Belmont, CEO of JahRock'n Productions.
There it is.
President of MI City.
There it is.
You've one of the things that I think has just been interesting about your professional career is that you've been on kind of, I don't want to say all sides of the business, but you've been in a lot of different spaces. So it's like you got the production company, you've written songs, you've performed on songs, been in music videos, like all that kind of stuff, run a record label, man. And I can't even think of anybody else that has really run a studio like this in our scene for a long period of time. Like you had Lamp Mode for a while, you know what I'm saying? But then they kind of, it's just Lamp Mode artists basically use the studio now, you know? I know Black Knight has a situation out there. I know Trey 9 has had a studio down there. But man, you've been like a intricate part of the New York scene for a while. Now you got a lot of national artists that come through. So like what has been kind of your, you know, ways that you've been able to just kind of keep this going? Whereas obviously you're almost an anomaly, man, just in terms
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I don't know. I decided not to be an artist. I think that's what it was. You know, I think there's just so many artists in our scene. And there are not enough supporters of the art. You know? So I was an artist myself for 15 years, you know, in a singing group, but I decided that, you know, I'm better served, and I believe God told me to do this, you know, like I'm better served supporting artists. And that's really the heart of the whole matter, was just supporting artists. And then the studio just kind of came from the whole want to kind of create my own stuff. But really the heart of JahRock'n has always been to support artists. And that's where it came from, man. And you know what? I think I just fulfilled a niche that wasn't there. I mean, you know, I am a businessman. I kind of like, it took me a while to kind of like, you know, just wear that title of a businessman.
To accept that.
And the first thing of business, they say, you know, in order to run a successful business, you got to figure out what the next guy's not doing. You know, and I realized that, man, there's so many artists out here, but their music is bad. You know, there's just a lot of talented guys and females, but the music is horrible. Like, and that, you know, and I had an ear for quality, and I wanted to help, you know, and that's where it came from.
So you think just being able to really like focus on this, because I mean that's the other thing, like it's expensive to live in this area, and this is what you do full time. You got a staff, you know, all that stuff. You know, you're paying rent. You got, you know, all these different things. Whereas, you know, people in some other cities, man, like they just not. They're not moving like this, man.
You know, it's a gift and a curse. You know, it's just a deck of cards that God has given me. Living in a city where there's a plethora of artists, there's tons of artists out there. There's a lot of just different, you know, communities and networks in New York City. And that's the benefit of it. But you know, the drawback to it is that it's just super expensive because everybody's here. You know, and so I guess God just really helped out a lot. You know, really showing me and giving me the tips along the way to keep going. I didn't start big, you know, so I mean, if you got a lot of people out there that want to start their own companies, you got to start small, man.
Start in your mom's basement.
Start in your mom's basement. That's what I did, and be humble about it, and be okay with that. You know, it's okay to have humble beginnings and build from there. You know, I was in a perfect position when I was in my mother's basement. I wasn't married, no kids, had a career, had my degree already. I was like, you know what? If I fail, I'd be like, you know what? I don't lose much.
You don't lose nothing.
You know. And that extra thing, God just wanted me to have faith in him. So I just said, you know what? He said, I'm gonna give you no money. So I just had to literally build client to client, you know, and move from there. So I just thank God for the journey, man.
That's good, bro. That's good. Just on the production side, man, like you obviously yourself, very musical. You know, you can make beats yourself. You know, you have made beats, but man, you got a whole team. You know, and usually, man, like, you know, I see these cats, man. You know, cats pop up with a SoundCloud, old school SoundClick page, and you just throw your beats up on there, man. Hope somebody buys them, releases them now, you know, that kind of thing. And you got like a whole other situation going here, man.
Yeah, I thank God, man. You know what it is, man? I started out with the mind of I'm not going to compete against a 16-year-old. Because I'm going to lose bad. You know, there's a lot of like young kids that are just super talented at what they do.
And they'll give you beats for $15.
$15, sometimes less than that. There was a time where dudes were selling beats for $1, you know. You know, on SoundClick, you know, and I'll be honest with you, some of them were pretty dope, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna hate. I mean, some of them were pretty dope. Bro, like you know, at the time I was 25 years old. 25. Like, I can't compete with that, bro. Like, I mean, I'm trying to go places, man. You know, and you know, it was, you know what, I noticed that, you know, even though I could make good music and I had an ear for music, my ear was the most valuable thing to me. You know, I don't play like that. You know, my ear is everything because I'm a singer, you know, so my ear is where it's at, you know, as opposed to like being a drummer or playing the keyboard or a lot of things like that. My ear was where it was at. So I decided, you know what, let me plug in guys in places that I lacked, you know, skill in, you know. So I started found this young kid, DJ X-Ray. You know, I had to swallow my pride because he was one of the guys that I was competing against. He was, I think he was 15 at the time, actually. And killing it. Like, he was making orchestration. I'm talking about string orchestration at 15 years. Yeah, bro. Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I was like, bro, man, you need a platform? And he was just like, yeah, let's do it. And he's been rocking with me ever since. Wow. Man. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, so it's just, he was the model. And then, you know, from there, I just kept on finding different guys that were good at different things. I'm like, why am I going to make a monopoly in my own company? You know, I'm going to stunt my growth. So I decided to just keep plugging guys in areas that are great at what they do, but also men of God and men of integrity, which is the most important thing.
That's like, man, it's just like, it reminds me of like when you read stories of like Motown and, you know, like some of those classic labels, and it's like they had like an in-house team that was like, you know what I'm saying, working together on every single record that they put out. Jackson 5 put a record out. Aretha Franklin put, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, they was working together on all these. Temptations put something out, you know. They working together on all these joints, man. Was like that kind of a model too? Absolutely. You know, something you...
Absolutely. I had a little stint where I worked with a team called Trackmasters back in the day when I was doing the secular thing a little bit, and they modeled a little bit for me. And just seeing other teams too, and even seeing some of the solo producers like Timbaland or Pharrell or a lot of times
they got people behind them.
They got people behind the scenes. They're the brand because they're the name. But at the end of the day, they got people behind the scenes.
They're ghost producers, bro.
They're ghost producers. Absolutely.
Kanye started out like that.
Oh yeah.
Kanye started out like that.
Yeah, if you really read the bios and you really like do your investigating, you see that there's a lot of people behind the scenes, man. And a lot of these guys really, they hardly touch a keyboard unless they're just editing stuff, you know? Wow. So, I mean, I looked at that and I was just like, you know what? I'm getting up in age. I'm not going to sit here just trying to outbeat the next dude. I'm going to really put guys in places that I have a good synergy with. And create music like that. And I think artists appreciate that because it's not just one dude in the studio's opinion. It's just like, you got a team of professionals that we don't even always agree amongst ourselves. But it's a good kind of filter for what actually comes out.
Some of the records y'all have done, like you mentioned In My City in the previous segment a couple times. But some of the records, man, just for so people are clear. Like, you know what I'm saying, some of the joints y'all have done that, you know, people have.
Well, I mean, thank God we've been blessed. I mean, a lot of times a lot of people to tell you, like, what people actually win Grammys for. They're like, man, I won the Grammy for that, but I did all this other stuff, you know. I feel like that sometimes, but I mean, I'll mention the stuff that I feel like people know. Andy Mineo, In My City. We recorded 2 albums with Jin, 1 album that we like pretty much all produced, which is Hypocrite. With MC Jin. We just finished working with Hillary Jane on her acoustical project. We did the entire album, recorded, produced, mixed, mastered. Hee Sun Lee, obviously, all of her projects from the day she started till now. Who else are we talking? We're talking Andy Mineo. What's the song? Paganini. On Hero, not Heroes for Sale, on Neverland. What else we got going on? There's a couple of records that we've done because we've gotten other guys. Like we had Kardec for a while, Jacob Kardec for a little bit. You know, he did some stuff for KB, obviously. You know, Social Club, things like that.
DJ Wade-O.
You know, DJ Wade-O with that last project, you know what I'm saying? More Than Music Volume 1, go cop that. All right, let's get it.
Boom, shameless plug.
Real shameless. You know what I'm saying? You know, but, you know, you guys are like, you know, I feel like, you know, I've been blessed to have people like you guys, you know what I'm saying, just, you know, be people that we can serve, you know, and people we can support, you know, yourself, Andy Mineo, MC Jin, Hee Sun Lee, people like that. But we've had the pleasure of doing all those.
That's a nice resume, brother.
I don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you just working.
I'm just working.
I'm
man.
just saying, but somebody looking at it from the outside, like that's, I mean, that's people. There's some people that would kill to you know what I'm saying, be able to be in spaces, and it's not. I mean, this is the other thing too. Everybody you just named was actually in here recording the music. Yeah. Like it's not like you just like.
Yeah, sent the beat off.
Did a beat, sent it over. They did something with it. Then the engineer did something else. You know what I'm saying? It's like they was y'all actually literally really worked together on these records.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that actually was the reason why in the beginning it took us a long time to really actually work with those type of artists.
Wow.
Because it's tough. It's top heavy. You know, it's like you got to get them in here. You got to, you know, but I think when people started getting it, like, oh, wow, this is a team. Like, you're not just sending me beats. Like, I can actually come and vibe. I get the New York vibe. I get the whole, you know, vibe, team vibe, you know what I'm saying? And I get to actually put things down and go back and forth. And we bring writers in and we're doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, pretty much if you want to understand how we work, just look at Saturday Morning Cartoons with Andy Mineo. That's exactly how we work. Even though all the producers in that video are not in the JahRock'n Team, that actually is how we work. And then also Hillary Jane's video for the album that she just did. That's how we like to work. I mean, it's a little hard, you know, to do initially, but the benefit just sounds better.
Yeah, the music sounds amazing.
Yeah,
music is amazing when you get to work together like that, collab like that, bro. You know, so
absolutely,
that's good, man. Chris, man, I enjoyed hearing this, because some of this was even fresh information for me, even though I didn't know everything. Like,
bro,
I didn't know
we talk all the time,
but I didn't know you found He's Son on the corner, son.
You must have missed that, bro.
I'm saying, bro, I've never
Me
heard
and
that
Wade
story.
been friends for a long time.
I've never heard that story, bro.
Really?
I've never heard that story.
Wow.
I never heard that story.
Maybe I need to put that out there somehow. And
I thought maybe y'all was just always just, I don't know, y'all was just brother and sister, just attached at the hip.
Nah, not at all, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know, bro. That's crazy.
It's street corner, man.
That's what's up, man. DJ Wade-O, Chris Belmont, we live at JahRock'n.
On the Wade-O radio show. On the Wade-O radio. On the Wade-O radio show, where it's much more than music, it's ministry.